Disgraced crypto king Sam Bankman-Fried pleaded not guilty in a Manhattan federal court Tuesday. The case relates to the collapse of his cryptocurrency exchange, FTX. He's been charged with 8 counts of fraud, money laundering, and other financial crimes. Michael Parker joins me now. He is the head of anti-money laundering and sanctions practice at Ferrari and Associates, which provides legal advice on economic and trade matters. Michael, welcome. So Sam Bankman-Fried was at one time worth more than $20 billion, but he's been accused of stealing money from FTX customers. What did he allegedly buy?
Thank you, Elaine. And really, there are so many overlapping actions here. The instant charges, of course, are captured in the indictment. But really what has made for interesting reading are lawsuits from the SEC and the CFTC. And in the SEC lawsuit in particular, they describe basically the allegations against Mr. Bankman-Fried as Mr. Bankman-Fried using FTX as a piggy bank. And really that money, as alleged, it went to all different sources. What's really captured, I think, the imagination are some of the political contributions, the condos in the Bahamas, office space in the Bahamas. But really, this money, it looks like it went everywhere. It went to fund Alameda. It went into speculative investments. It went to prop up Alameda effectively. At bottom, it looks like, as alleged, this is a classic fraud scheme where investors, where lenders, where customers, where their money was taken off of the FTX platform and used to fund really whatever it was that Mr. Bankman-Fried, as alleged, wanted to invest it in.
Does it appear there was money laundering?
Money laundering is a really interesting charge in the federal system, Elaine. What winds up happening for money laundering and how it's charged here is you need an underlying predicate crime. It's called a specified unlawful activity. And so the way that the indictment reads, I believe it's count 7, is a money laundering conspiracy charge where Mr. Bankman-Fried is alleged through the fraudulent transactions that are alleged elsewhere in the indictment of making basically transactions that promoted and that helped conceal the fraud as alleged in different parts of the indictment. And so really you could have a case where fraud is alleged, and in order to perpetrate that fraud and perpetuate it, you're laundering money as well. And that's how it's alleged here.
So you mentioned political contributions. Sam Bankman-Fried also donated more than $40 million this past election cycle. Where did that money go? And could candidates who received donations from him be flagged?
Well, it does look like some of those candidates have been returning the funds. And this will be a lengthy process insofar as clawing back the money. And all of this, of course, Elaine, is going to depend on what happens at trial, on whether or not Mr. Bankman-Fried accepts a plea before trial, really whether or not he is determined to be guilty either by a jury or by his own admission. And so once that were to hypothetically occur, then it would be a process of looking at where all of that money went and trying to perhaps claw it back. But in the more immediate, term, candidates could be looking at a political price to pay for holding on to that money. And so while the wheels of justice may move and may do so at their own time, there could be more immediate concerns and considerations for individual candidates, maybe office holders that have received such donations.
So what about customers? Can people who lost their money when this exchange collapsed get it back? And what can the federal government do?
So really, the Bernie Madoff case has been used as an illustrative example. And one of the ways in which Madoff could be instructive here is you similarly had a very complex fraud scheme with a number of victims sort of across the board. And what happened there was a special master was appointed. And so one of the things to really pay attention to is within the charged conduct, within the criminal indictment, there is a forfeiture allegation. And this is what's called criminal forfeiture. It's attached to the actual charges that have been filed in the Southern District of New York. And so if Mr. Bankman-Fried is convicted of counts 1 through 4, which are the fraud-related charges, then forfeiture attaches as a matter of the actual indictment. And importantly, there is a substitute assets provision that is attached to that forfeiture allegation. And so if Mr. Bankman-Fried is guilty of these crimes, what could hypothetically happen? a special master could be appointed to sort of oversee these various processes playing out. The lawsuit filed by the SEC, the lawsuit filed by the CFTC, any bankruptcy proceedings, any victim sort of compensation, that could potentially go through a special master who would be in charge of unwinding it, of evaluating, the various claims, and who has a perhaps higher competing claim than someone else. But really, all of this is going to depend on whether or not Mr. Bankman-Fried is convicted of these crimes.
All right, Michael Parker. Michael, thank you very much.
Thank you, Elaine.